used to wake with silent blame for all the ways I lost my name. The nights I let the bottle speak, the days I dressed to not look weak. I built a wall of painted grace, smiled enough to guard my face. But deep beneath the laughing tone, I sat beside myself alone. I walked through doors that felt too loud, wore masks approved by every crowd. I took the high that promised peace, but woke up deeper in the crease. They said it helps, they said it numbs, but silence still too often comes. No sound can hide what breath has seen, no echo heals what's held between. So I began to look within, not to forget but to begin, to hold the pain I used to shame and speak it gently back to name. No preacher came, no lightning cracked, just one slow moment looking back and seeing all the things I'd done, not as defeat but where I'm from. I'm forgiving the person I was, the one who ran, the one who paused, the one who thought escape was flight, the one who only feared the night. I hold them now with open hands. Not every wound must meet demands. Sometimes the heart just needs to see the one it hurt was trying to be free. I've said goodbyes without goodbye, I've watched dreams fade without a cry. But now I sit and name them slow and let the grief just gently flow. No need to rush the healing in, no need to judge what once had been. I plant the roots where shame once stood and grow forgiveness into wood. Now when the mirror meets my stare, I don't look through, I don't compare. I simply nod and let it be, a version of what made me me. Some will never understand how pain can shape the softest hands, how falling once too far too fast can make you learn what truly lasts. But I don't need them to applaud or say my strength is sent from God. I only need this quiet grace to let me breathe and find my place. I'm forgiving the person I was, no longer running just because, no longer hiding in disguise, no longer numbing my own cries. I'm standing here still incomplete, but on my terms with steady feet. And every time I almost break, I say you're more than each mistake. So let them judge what they can't feel. I found the truth in what is real, that being whole is not a prize, but living fully flawed and wise. And I forgive the younger me who tried to float in a silent sea.
I used to flinch at thunder's voice, treated silence like a choice, filled my nights with flashing screens to mute the weight of in-betweens. The world was loud, so I complied. I laughed out loud while part of me died, smiled in mirrors I couldn't trust, and let my dreams collect in dust. They said don't think, just feel it out, so I learned to float inside hide the doubt. I followed rhythms not my own and called a house without me home. But still beneath the pulsing crowd, a whisper wrapped me like a shroud. It didn't beg, it didn't chase, it only asked that I give space. And so I stopped, and so I stayed inside the storm I once betrayed. Not to suffer, not to drown, but just to watch the thunder down. I sat with the storm, didn't run, didn't search for morning sun. I let the wind tear through my name, let every echo burn the shame. And though no lightning split the sky, I found myself and not the lie. There's peace in pain that holds you true when you let the storm pass through. No drink could match the weight I bore, no flame could keep me from the floor. But once I stopped resisting sound, I found a calm beneath the ground, a calm that didn't beg for more. It stayed with me when I ignored the world outside that raced ahead, while I made peace with tears I shed. And now I walk without the fear. The storms will take the things I hold dear, because I know what I became, not from sun but through the rain. Some truths don't shine, they rumble low, they break apart what you outgrow. And though the path is never straight, the stillness comes when you don't hate. I sat with the storm, let it raise, let it shake the inner cage. And when it passed, I didn't scream, I just exhaled another dream. No longer running from the sound of broken skies and trembling ground. I let the wildness pass through me and found I stay. Quietly. Not every heart breaks loud and wide. Some just ache and learn to hide. Not every cry will touch the air. Some are buried deep in care. I used to think that pain must roar to be believed, to be restored. But now I know the softest soul still carries weight, still pays the toll.
I watch them shine so fast, so bright, but burn themselves in search of light. I took a path without applause, no spotlight hung, no crowds, because I didn't bleed where all could see. I healed in rooms made just for me, where shadows sat and said my name, and I replied without the shame.
Some battles don't require sound, just staying still on shaking ground, and knowing when to gently bend, so something broken learns to mend. This is for the ones who grow in quiet, who choose a softer war, not riot, who let the pain unfold like thread and stitch their truth through what they've bled. They may not dance, they may not shout, but they are strong of that, no doubt. The roots they plant go deeper still, in earth that learns to hold the chill.
They told me louder meant more brave, that tears belong to those who cave. But I've walked nights where no one knew, and still woke up and pushed on through. I've held my breath through countless storms, felt sorrow rise in different forms, but never once did silence mean I lost the right to dream unseen.
And if you find you walk alone, without a crowd, without a throne, just know the seeds you plant today will grow where noise joys can't steal away. Some joy is small but built to stay, and that's the kind I choose each day. Not every fire comes with flame. Some burn inside without a name. And though the world may never see, you're building strength quietly. This is for the ones who choose the slow, who water roots they'll never show, who hold their grief like sacred ground and rise without a single sound. Don't let them say your fight was less, your pace to calm your path a guess. You are the proof that truth survives in every breath that simply tries. So walk in quiet if you must, with open hands, with humble trust. The world may shout, but you still shine, a softer soul with sacred spine. It wasn't hope that held me close. It wasn't light, it wasn't prose. Just a coffee cup left on the sink and a breeze that made me stop and think. The world was crumbling on repeat. I couldn't stand, I couldn't eat, but one small song inside my chest kept saying, maybe just one breath. I saw escape dressed up in gold. It smiled with lies I once was told. It said, come numb, come loose, come fall. But I remembered not at all. Just one soft laugh from long ago, the way the morning used to glow, and something in me wouldn't bend, a part of me that wouldn't end. So I chose the floor instead of flight, chose the shadows, not the night. Didn't need to understand, just reached out for a steady hand. I stayed for the small things, for the songs without words, for the wind on the window, for the unspoken thirds. I didn't stay because I knew, I stayed because one thing felt true, that healing hides in quiet streams and lives inside forgotten dreams. I threw away the empty glass, the one that said the ache would pass. I saw the promise in its grin and chose to let the storm begin, because the rain at least was real and told me things I need to feel, like how to sit inside the mess and still be worthy nonetheless. Some battles end with victory songs, but mine was fought in right and wrongs, and staring at the ceiling still and breathing through the need to fill with things that never really last, that just erase and fade too fast. But I stayed hungry for the day where I could look and choose to stay. And now when nights come creeping back, I hold the truth they used to crack, that I'm allowed to feel and stay without the need to drift away. I stayed for the small things, like the way my fingers shake but still find rhythm in the dark when everything begins to break. I didn't stay for strength or fame, I stayed because I knew my name was more than hurt, more than pain, and worth another rise again. So if you're lost and dim and cold, just know not all strength must be bold. Sometimes the bravest thing you'll do is stay for something small and true.
used to wait for someone's hand to pull me up, to help me stand. I thought salvation wore a face that showed up dressed in perfect grace. I waited by the open phone, hope noise would fill the cracks I own. But every call just rang too late, and I kept folding under weight. They said you're strong, you'll find your way, while I was drowning in the day. And when the night began to fall, I learned not every cry gets cold. No angels tore the sky apart, no strangers mapped my fragile heart. But somewhere deep beneath the ache, my breath refused to fully break. And I didn't rise with glory loud, I wasn't cheered on by a crowd. I simply whispered, stay a while, and sat there shaking but with style. No one rescued me, and that was enough. I held my soul when things got rough. I didn't need a blazing flame, just one more breath to say my name. The world went on and I was still, a quiet body with a will to face the dark alone and small, and still not let myself let fall. Past the bars with neon signs that sold escape in crooked lines, but I had seen what lies beneath the glittered glass, the hidden teeth. I threw away the numbing games, the smoke that whispered softer names, and chose to sit with all my scars instead of dancing under stars. No noise to prove that I was here, just steady steps through private fear. And when the silence hugged too tight, I lit my own small kind of a light. Some find their peace in someone's arms, but mine was built through quiet harms. Each lonely night became a prayer, not for a fix, just to stay there. And now when I walk through the crowd, I carry stillness, not so proud, but certain that the ground I tread was once the place I thought I'd shed. I didn't climb, I didn't scream, I simply kept the smallest dream of waking up without the need to prove I heard, to make it bleed. No one rescued me, and still I rose, not flawless but with deeper prose. Not perfect, pure, or glowing white, but present on my own inside. And if you ask what saved my soul, it was the night I lost control, but chose to stay despite the fear and whisper you still belong here. So don't wait for the hands above. Sometimes your own can be enough. I used to chase the healing fast, wanted all the pain to pass. Try to drink it, try to sleep through all the wounds I couldn't keep. I let the world prescribe the pace that said move on and show no trace. But all that speed just tore the seam of parts of me I didn't dream. They said to fight, to scream, to go, but I was
was drowning in the flow. So one soft night I slowed my breath and gave the war inside a rest.
I walk past doors I used to need, the places built to make me bleed. The voice is sweet, the light's too bright, the comfort dressed in sugar white. They call my name with velvet tone, but I'd outgrown that kind of home. No more shots to fake the spark, no more dancing through the dark. Instead I lace my shoes instead, through all the truths I never kept. Each block a memory I knew, each silence something to walk through. It wasn't fast, it wasn't bold, but every second helped me hold a version of myself that stayed when every piece had once decayed. I walked instead of running far, chose steady breath over a scar. I let the weight reshape my spine till the road became all mine. No crowd to cheer, no flags above, just every footstep made with love for who I was and who I'd be, without the rush to set me free. I saw the shortcuts lined in gold, the ways to quit, to not grow old. But I had stories left to write, and tears that needed softer light. The world applauds the ones who win, but not the ones who walk within, who trace their grief with gentle hands and find a way to understand. So I embrace the pace I fear and watch my loudest doubt get clear. It told me slow was not enough, but slow was where I learned to trust. Some run because they think they must, but I have learned to walk with dust, to love the path without a name, to hold the ache and not feel shame. And in that choice I found my ground. No need to race, no need for sound, just presence in each quiet mile, just peace that comes from being free. I walked instead of running fast, and found the kind of strength that lasts, not in applause or even pride, but in the breath I kept inside. I walked through guilt, I walked through fear, I walked till silence felt sincere. And though the world still moves too loud, I found my path beneath the cloud. So if you're tired of being strong, of rushing just to get along, try walking slow through what you keep. You might just find you finally sleep.
Used to drift through every day, a shadow walking in delay. The clock kept ticking, I stood still. I'm nodding through a world I couldn't feel. They said be strong, just push, just go. I wrapped my wounds in silent hope, laughed on cue, cried when alone, wore my hurt like overgrown stone. I tried to disappear, disappear in speed, to race ahead of what I need, to fill the cracks with fleeting highs, and call that numbness compromise. But none of it could keep me warm, none of it could change the form of who I was beneath the skin, the part of me still caving in. So I stopped chasing perfect lines and leaned into the in-betweens, the joy that trembles, not explodes, the peace that walks on winding roads. Now I don't force the nights to glow, I let them fall the way they go, and in the dark I let it land, the quiet weight of my own hand. I'm learning to be here, not beyond, to stay when comfort's gone, not to erase the pain I feel, but trust that staying makes it real. No need to fix what I still fear, just sit beside it year to year, and let my breath reclaim its space, without the urge to win a race. I used to long for sudden change, the kind that cleans you full exchange, but now I see how roots grow slow, through dirt and doubt and undertow. So I forgive the days I lost, the choices made, the heavy cost. They brought me here, they shaped the tone of songs I now can call my own. I no longer dress wounds in gold, I let them air, I let them hold their place in me, not as regret, but as reminders not to forget. Some healing doesn't clap or cheer, it just whispers you're still here, and that alone becomes enough, even when the road stays rough. So when I falter, when I fall, I won't delete myself at all, I'll just return to where I am, and let the ache become my land. I'm learning to be here, not fixed, to live with stories still unmixed. I may not shine, I may not rise, but I'm still worthy in my size. This life's not made of grand escape, it's in the steps I choose to take, not forward fast, not far or near, just one soft vow to stay right here. So if you're tired of the chase, come join me in this quiet place, where breath is brave and slow is clear, and love begins when you stay near.
I stood at the corner of what was, where all the noise once fed my floors. The lights were warm, the doors wide open, the drinks still cold, the rules unspoken. They said come back, we saved your place, with hollow laughs and frozen grace. But something in me paused the script and let the curtain gently slip. I remembered how it felt to float, to call that high a healing note. But afterward I always fell back into that silent well. The nights that ended with regret, the mornings I tried to forget, the mirrors I could never trust, the fire that always turned to dust. So I breathed deep, ignored the call, stepped away from their golden hall, and turned my eyes to where no crowd would cheer me just for screaming loud. It wasn't guilt that made me leave, it wasn't fear of how they'd grieve, it was the thought so soft, so true, that maybe I deserve something new. I chose another direction, one with shadows and reflection. No loud rewards, no instant praise, I no longer chase the quick repair, the pill that numbs the vacant stare. I let the ache unfold its name and face the fire without its flame. Some don't believe in slow ascent, they want the scars to pay the rent. But I believe the gentlest path still counts when taken aftermath. And though I walk with softer shoes, that doesn't mean I aim to lose. I've just outgrown the reckless cheer for pain that's masked by bottled fear. I won't return to mirrored lies, to smoke that dances in disguise. I won't pretend I'm less than whole, to fit a room that cost my soul. I didn't leave because I broke, I left because I finally spoke to parts of me that begged for air and found they're still kind and fair. I chose another direction, beyond the flash and disconnection, where I can cry without a crowd and laugh without the need to shout. It's not escape, it's not a retreat, it's just the ground beneath my feet that says you're safe, you're seen, you're free. You don't need pain to let you be, so let them toast and call it thrill. I found my peace where time stands still, not running from but walking toward the life I never had explored. They said just let it go, release, find a way to quiet peace. But I have learned that healing sound isn't always silence all around. I used to drown in smoke and sleep, thinking numb was what I'd keep. But I woke up with foggy breath and grief still whispering of death. So I sat down and faced the ache, didn't cover, didn't fake, didn't trade my scars for lies or wrap my tears in neon skies. I watched the pain, I called its name, let it rise and take its claim. And though it hurt, I stayed awake and let my own two hands not break. I didn't need a glass to blur or strangers saying you deserve her. Didn't need a louder song to tell me staying still is wrong. I didn't need to forget to move through what I regret. Didn't need to throw it far or hide my cracks in who you are. I let it live, I let it breathe, and watch my sorrow slowly leave. Not with a scream, not with a fight, but with the turning of the night. They offered ways to disappear with golden bottles, endless cheer, but all those doors just led to walls and laughter echoing down halls. So I came back to who I was, before the rush, before the buzz, before the world sold faster cures to mend what only time ensures. I lit a candle, not a flame, and whispered softly, I'm not shamed. And every night I did not run I've seen strength in healing jars that hold the truth with patient hands. Not just erase, but understand. So let the past come take a seat. It's part of why my pulse still beats. I'm not afraid of what I've known. It taught me how to walk alone. I didn't need to forget to find the peace I hadn't met. Didn't need the world erased, just space to feel what I once faced. I didn't rush, I didn't flee, I just became more honestly. And now the mirror doesn't lie. I'm someone who still chose to try. So if you're lost in where you've been, just let the past be part, not sin. You don't need to burn it yet. Sometimes the healing is to not forget. It wasn't dawn that saved my soul, no shining sky to make me whole. It was a whisper in the dark, a flicker where there was no spark. I didn't find it in the crowd, not in the noise or singing loud. I found it in the quiet ache, in breaths I thought my chest would break. They said just move, just shake it off, but every echo made me cough. I'd swallowed words I couldn't scream and drowned beneath a shallow dream. I held the night like final weight, prepared to close and seal the gate. But right before the end was said, a thought appeared I can't forget. It wasn't grand, it wasn't bright, it didn't promise I'd be right. It only asked that I delay the choice to simply walk away. And so I stayed for one more breath, one small rebellion against death. Not because I knew what's next, but for a light I didn't expect. It didn't shine, it didn't blind, but it was kind, so quietly kind. And in that hush I saw the truth, that life could wait, and so could you. I turned down hands that held escape. They came in glass or paper shape. They told me peace would only come through shortcuts carved in sugar numb. But I had tried and seen them fail, each one a mask that quickly paled. And in that moment, torn and spent, I saw my wounds were not cement. They moved, they throbbed, they breathed like me, and maybe that meant I could be not perfect, healed, or fully bright, but something warm and soft to light. Some don't return from where I stood, they're never told that pain makes good. But I came back not strong or clean, just real and raw and in between. And that is how I made my way through one more moon, one more great day. Not needing promise, just a thread to pull me gently from the dread. I stayed for a light I didn't see, for one small part still calling me. Not loudly, no, just soft and near, enough to say you're needed here. And now when darkness fills my chest, I don't demand a glowing quest. I only ask to breathe again and trust that pain won't always win. So if you're lost and done and numb, let stillness speak before you run. The light you need may not be grand, it might just be your open hand.